Hi, I'm Luke. 2 is always better than 1, right? Today on Auto Darts, I wanted to show off my dual Proton Pack. This has been my loadout for a couple of key games, including Oktoberfest back in October in the Bay Area. It was a 300-person Humans vs. Zombies game called The Stalking Dead. Now, I ran these as my primary, because it's got the foregrip, and my secondary. And they performed just fantastically.
Is it all rival?
Yeah, I literally sorted it.
So...
I also used this one as a single back in End War last summer. Now, this is the Jupiter Blaster running on 3S instead of 2S, connected to 2 packs back here. And I really only put the second one together because I was like, what happens if one breaks and you're playing and you're only playing with the primary? Because when I did End War, I only played with the one, and it did not fail me. I failed myself by being a bad player. And that just goes to show that it really doesn't matter what blaster you have, because even when I had both of these at Oktoberfest, I did not make it to the end. I got distracted with people behind me, and Bobo Lolo tagged me out. I did take several hundred down with me though, so I feel pretty good about that. Now the way I have this set up, these are both a fixed fire rate. This one shoots about 5 rounds a second, and this one shoots up to 18. So you can see a little demo of the slow one. I use this for sort of regular zombies as they come through. That way you're sort of, can handle a few there and you're really conserving ammo. This one's got an ammo capacity of about 1,200, while this one holds about 500, and this is when stuff really goes south, this is the one you use. And it will sustain a fire rate of over 15 rounds a second. The initial burst is even faster, around 18, 19 balls a second, and it just screams. I have now fired nearly 20,000 rounds through this single blaster. Think about that for a second. Do you have a blaster that you fired 20,000 rounds through? It makes me feel very good about the blaster's reliability and the motors and the entire system as far as how we built it. And I feel really good about that because when we initially made Jupiter, this was not the intention. In fact, I didn't think the flywheel cage and the motor setup with the high crush would allow to put this kind of abuse through it, because firing a couple thousand rounds continuously through this thing, which I've done over and over, is really hard on the motors. So you're going to have a lot of heat generated and a higher risk of failure. Overall, this is still sort of a work in progress. I've sold about 15 or 16 of the beta units for the Proton Pack, and so those are hopefully out at your games. I would love to hear if you've seen one in person, been shot at one, if you've shot one, if you've tagged the player out that has it, even more important. But I'd love to hear more about that. I am beta testing this unit because I will make it a final product, but I have a lot of sourcing and a lot of redesign to do to make a more polished product. The current version is very much a prototype. You can see here I'm actually using a Coleman blower here. It's an inflator for an air mattress. And what's great about that is it has a ton of power. It can work under very constricted loads, and it can run for several minutes straight, which is basically the entire load of the pack. So concealed inside the pack is my original Proton Pack. That's 1,200 rounds that's custom built inside this Condor bag. And then this little baby Proton Pack is the secondary one. And really, that was just a last minute sort of thought to run this backup unit. That way, if you ever had one go down or you Oh no, run out of ammo. Oh, I missed a good pun there, didn't I? But you would have a second option. I wore these both with lanyards, slings rather, and it really, really worked out well. I sort of feel like they're about the ultimate HVZ blaster, and the reason I say that is kind of twofold. First, you have the obvious capacity, you have good response time, you have reasonable range, but the other part is getting shot by this is not that terrible because these blasters only shoot about 100 feet per second, so it's sort of like stock rival. And when you're playing HVZ, you pretty much always have people running towards you, and the average tag distance ends up being 10 to 20 feet or something like that. So overall, you know, it's a good experience for both sides, I think. Though maybe some of those people want to chime in down in the comments, because I know at Ragnarok Oktoberfest, I really laid it on thick with these, especially with both of them. There were times when I could just go hose down the entire crowd, and it was a real effort to get to me, which is really fun. But ultimately, I did not survive, so Blaster doesn't make the winner, that's for sure. As I said, I will have a kit for this in the future. I will eventually get a waiting list put down in the comments as well, but I have a lot of redesign work, and mostly about sourcing, because currently this tubing that I'm using is a washing machine hose, a drain hose, and it's absolutely perfect, but I can't find a supplier for it yet, and I am still looking around. I've ordered dozens of samples of all different kinds of things. I probably bought 30 or 40 different kinds of tube, and so I'm still working on that. Some other nice touches. Tarek put together, at my request, a really cool integrated feed mechanism here with a custom swivel mount. And so what that does is alleviates any strain, because this can swivel freely independent of the hose. Now you're always going to have some sort of tether unless I decide to go with a wireless relay or something in the future, like an RC style relay, but that would also require a second set of batteries. Right now all the batteries in the pack, and I like that because it keeps your blasters even lighter than they were before. For those that bought the beta units, keep sending me feedback. There's the group on Facebook. I will definitely get back in there and ask more questions in the near future as I get back to redesigning. My shop is going through some changes here, which I will definitely cover in a future video, and there will be a lot more to come. Let me know what you think about the dual Proton Pack. Is it overkill? Do you want to play against me? Do you want to shoot someone with one? I will have these for demo units at all of the events this year, including West vs. Zombies, Ragnarok Oktoberfest, and End War, because I am planning currently on supporting and sponsoring all three of those events. I am itching to play. It's winter here and we haven't had as many games. So those of you in that warm weather, have fun nerfing for me. Until next time, I'm out of darts.